What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I am back. I've been away from the camera for a long time, which I'm about to talk about now. You might wonder, why is his hair messed up for this video? It's because I got a new hat. You guys know I love wearing visors. I got a new visor. Some people have been asking me to make a video. Also, I'm shooting this video with no microphone. I'm just using the camera mic. So hopefully this is not a total fail. Usually I use my Rode mic, but I just don't want to deal with it today. I've been shooting content for TikTok a little bit without using the microphone, and the audio seems perfectly good. Maybe you'll have to turn it up. But today what we're going to be talking about is a number of topics. Primarily we're going to be discussing the ongoing no testosterone cycle that I've been running. This cycle has finally come together in every conceivable way. I have been talking about this cycle for over a month now, and up until the last couple of weeks, everything was going absolutely perfectly. The only problem, I say everything. There was everything but my D game. The D game had been working, but like I said, it was not like epic levels of D game. It was a situation where I was fully functional, but I wasn't really feeling like I was on. That's the thing. To be on, at the time, I was on 100 milligrams of TrenAce, 500 milligrams of Masteron, and I was taking 300 milligrams of Deca. And my neighbor's coming out. I'm gonna go back here this way. And while everything was functioning normally, it wasn't functioning at like superstar status, and it was and I didn't have crazy high libido. It actually got, like 2 weeks ago, give or take. I don't know if it's been quite 2 weeks. It got to the point where I would say that I had no libido, like not the kind of libido that I'm used to, and certainly not the kind of libido that you would expect from that level of gear. It was about this time that I made the recent videos where I found out that my TRT company, Royal Medical Center, were behaving like complete idiots and pulling the wrong blood work. So part of the reason that I've been having this roller coaster of estrogen is because they were pulling non-sensitive E2 tests, telling me that my estrogen level was higher than it actually was. So my wife at this point was really ready to quit the game. She was like, look, you know, we had a couple like bad nights where basically I was completely non-functional. And so at that point, the hope that managing my estrogen level was going to solve all of the D game problems really just that had not panned out. Like we had a couple of weeks where things were pretty good, and then they went back to being unpredictable. And I've been having a lot of blood sugar crashes on the Tren, which I'm going to get to in a minute, which causes a lot of problems in the bedroom. But she was basically like a week ago, I guess now, she was like, look, I'm kind of done, you know, like I think you need to just go back to what we know works. Like, why do you keep playing games? Like, go back to 200 milligrams of test and then whatever else you want, you know, like at 200 milligrams of test, I have my E2 dialed perfectly into the sweet spot at 1.5 milligrams of Arimidex per week. And I know that at any spider webs, I know that at any given point, I can always go back to that and everything will return to normal. And so if I was a smart man, that's what I would do immediately, because, you know, I'm suffering, she's suffering. There's a lot of ups and downs, but I felt like I had committed so much to this experiment that I felt like I owed it to myself and I owed it to the experiment to stay the course until I knew for sure that it wasn't going to work. So like a week ago, I was set to quit the game, and I was going to go in and pin, you know, 100 milligrams of test and take my testosterone level back up to 200 and go back on ADEX and just pull the plug on the estrogen. But I was thinking to myself, here's the thing. Coming up on the estrogen had solved almost every single problem except libido. And historically speaking, my libido has never been something that I could control with androgens. That's the thing, is that all of my libido problems have come completely independent of the dose of androgens that I was on. So I could be on 200 milligrams of test and have crazy high libido. I could be on 500 milligrams of test, 300 milligrams of tren, and have basically no libido to speak of. And what I figured out over the course of the last several years is that the major contributing factor to my libido and D-game quality is estrogen. And estrogen is a fickle bee. It's a fickle bee. Can't say anything on this fucking platform anymore. Oh my God, this spider web has now caught a bug that is on my camera. So I told my wife, here's the deal. I'm not quitting the game yet. We're gonna up the ante one more time. I said, look, I have not gotten any symptoms of high estrogen yet. The last time I got my estrogen checked, I was taking 0.1 milligrams of estradiol every other day, and that had me at 12 picograms per milliliter, which is a little bit below the halfway point. So I raised it to 0.15 milligrams every other day, and things improved, but they still were not all the way back. I still didn't have raging libido. I still didn't have perfect erection quality, and I was still not like chasing my wife around the house for it. So I told her, look, I'm going to keep raising my estrogen level until the problem is either resolved or I start getting symptoms of high estrogen. So I want to confirm that there's no amount of estrogen with all of these given hormones that will solve the problems. And if I start getting symptoms of high E2, my D game is not back, and my erection quality is not, my libido is not back, then I'm gonna call it quits and I'm gonna go back to the T. So I raised my dose to 0.2 milligrams of estradiol valerate every other day. And within 3 days, baby, I was all the way back. Raging libido, perfect D game. Things just started coming back in force. So victory, right? Well, yes and no. Just as things were getting good with my wife, and my D game was coming back, and my erection quality was coming back. I mean, that's the same thing. My libido was coming back. I was feeling a bit depressed. I was feeling a bit depressed because I have been cutting or not bulking basically for almost 2 months now. And I know this is gonna sound crazy to a lot of you because at the time I was taking 500 milligrams of Testosterone, 300 milligrams of Deca, and about 100 milligrams of Tren. So we've got like 900 milligrams of total gear. And as I said in the previous video, I felt like I was off. I just didn't feel like I was even on. Like that amount of gear, those compounds, like 100 milligrams of Tren is nothing. Deca, I don't feel it. Testosterone, it's just an antidepressant. I wasn't really feeling on. So I decided that I was gonna up the ante a little bit more. And I moved my Tren first up to 140 and then up to 210 milligrams of Tren Ace per week. So currently I'm pinning 30 milligrams of Tren Ace twice per day. I continue to be mystified as to why I am the only person apparently in America or on the planet who pins TrenBalone twice a day. I have tried to stop the twice a day injections twice, and I feel terrible every time I do it. TrenBalone acetate twice a day is the only way I could run this compound. So what do you think happened when I increased my TrenBalone dose to 210 milligrams? I almost got divorced. Again, my wife and I were fighting worse than we have fought in a long time. Now, of course, it's all her fault. Naturally, it's all her fault. But you can't ignore the fact that every single time I come up on Tren, I start having problems with a whole bunch of things that have been true in my marriage forever. These are not new things. They're probably never going away, but I just cannot cope with them on Tren. And so while I still believe that they're my wife's fault because they're things that she could choose to change, she doesn't. And on Tren, I just cannot tolerate them. I was full-blown ready to get divorced. I was looking at new houses. I'm not going to bore you guys. You guys know the story. You guys know the story. It's the same story. Start looking at houses, tell her to go to get a job. She starts looking for jobs. Total disaster. I think at some point she figured out this guy's completely unhinged. He's saying a whole bunch of shit he doesn't mean. He is in the throes of a massive trend come up. I told you guys that I felt like 140 milligrams of Tren Ace per day in my body feels like 300. 210 milligrams of TrenBalone acetate per day in my body feels like I am a Falcon 9 rocket. I have recently taught my son and my wife to play Cutthroat Pinochle, which is a game I spent a tremendous amount of time playing in prison. It is maybe the single best card game ever devised by man, and I can play Cutthroat Pinochle, 10 hours a day, no problem. I spent so many hours in the joint playing Cutthroat Pinochle on the grid. Some of the most fun you'll have in life. So we've been playing Cutthroat every night after dinner, while we're eating dinner. So to give you an idea of the dosing protocol, I get up in the morning and I take 30 units. I take, oh shit. Did I mess up my math? No. I take 30 units. I take 15 units. Yeah, I almost did mess up the math. I take 15 units of Tren Ace when I wake up, and that gets me going. That gets me moving around. I don't need any caffeine, any coffee, any nothing. It doesn't matter how much sleep I've gotten. Like, that is enough to get me motivated to do everything I need to do for work. But it's not so overpowering as to be a problem, at least not now. And then in the evening, some 8 hours later, give or take, I take my second dose. So what happens is usually I'm taking my second dose between 4 and 6 o'clock in the evening, depending on what time I woke up that day. And so it has me basically coming up during family activity. We were sitting playing Pinochle the other day, and I was coming up on my second dose of Tren for the day, and my hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold the cards. Like, my breathing is effed. You'll probably hear it in this video. I am sucking wind like crazy, but my blood pressure is perfect. In fact, it's borderline low. Last night, I thought for sure. I was laying in bed. We've been watching Lioness, and I was laying in bed, and I'm panting like a dog. And I thought, man, I must not be taking enough telmisartan. So I checked my blood sugar. My blood pressure lying down. It was 110/64. So that's on 20 milligrams of telmisartan a day. So currently, what I'm currently taking right now is 300 milligrams of Deca per week, 600 milligrams of Masteron per week, 210 milligrams of Tren Ace per week. I have stopped taking the Proviron for a little while. I like to take the Proviron up and down. I got off the Proviron because I needed to test to see whether or not the Proviron was providing libido or whether it was connected to my estrogen. And so I tried to reduce the number of factors that could possibly muddy the water. And so I took the Proviron out of the cycle. And so I'm very happy to report that on these doses, with my estradiol at anywhere between 0.18 and 0.2 milligrams every other day, this cycle is now providing every single thing that I have ever gotten from any steroid cycle. So I am taking absolutely no testosterone, and I am getting full functionality, strength in the gym, energy in the gym, strength and energy in the bed, lasting, everything. Every single thing that I wanted to prove with this test has now been proven to be accomplishable with absolutely no testosterone in the cycle at all. Now, obviously there's 19 nor testosterone, but conventional test C, test E, I have zero of that going on in my system right now, and I am getting every single result that I want to. So much so, to drive this point home before I stop talking about it, usually if I have a blood sugar crash, it is catastrophic to the D game. Well, I've been getting cocky recently because the D game has been dialed completely in since I increased my estrogen dose. And so last night I was kind of taking my time with some things, and I started to lose connection to the D. And I thought, uh-oh, here we go. It was like starting to flag out, losing sensitivity, couldn't finish. I'm literally in the middle of the mission. We're gonna call it the mission. In the middle of the mission, I start onboarding Skittles. I'm just chewing Skittles in my wife's ear while I'm laying on top of her, just munching Skittles. And I was able to, how can I say this? I was able to go from high RPMs to down to low RPMs. Basically, I shifted gears and I went down into kind of a cruise mode for a few minutes while I was getting the sugar in. So basically, I'm ingesting sugar. I'm still in the mission on cruise control, and everything. I was able to stay on cruise control without totally losing my game. I was able to go into cruise control, re-sugar up, get back completely in the game, shift gears back into high power, and finish the mission complete, even despite having that crash in the middle. That is how perfectly dialed in the D game is. That is the porn star D game that I've been talking about. That is the kind of ironclad, nothing can break your will, nothing can stop you from doing what you're trying to do D game that I have been looking for, and I have finally accomplished it on nothing but Deca, Masteron, and TrenBalone, and of course HCG. So there you have it. If you want me to run down the entire list for you, for those of you who like to copy, this is what we've got. Tren Ace, 15 milligrams twice a day. Masteron, 300 milligrams twice a week. That's Masteron E. Somebody was asking about that. Masteron E. We've got Deca, 300 milligrams twice a week. I take 20 milligrams of telmisartan per day. I take, yes, I know what you're going to say. I take 1 milligram of Cialis once a day. I can't take any more. Anything more than 1 milligram of Cialis, and I have massive uncontrollable heartburn. But it seems to do a little something. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. 1 milligram doesn't hurt me, so I leave it in. 1 milligram Cialis once a day. I take half of a milligram of Xanax every single night at about 10:30, usually 10:30 to 12:30, depending on what my schedule is. I take my Xanax in the evening to kind of help come down from all the tren and even out and get ready to go to bed. Plus, it seems to help with interacting with my wife, because I get so amped up on this amount of tren that I just spiral at night. I'm trying to solve all the world's problems, you know. I'm geared to F up. So, what else am I taking? It is worth mentioning, I'm back on the caber. I was experiencing too much of the dark doom and gloom returning on the higher dose of tren. So I started out real low. I'm taking caber at 1/4 of a milligram every week to 5 days right now. And even though I know my prolactin is in the toilet, because I just recently got it tested, having low prolactin and dialed in estrogen seems to be the sweet spot for me. My gyno has been coming and going, but it comes and goes with my estrogen injection, which I cannot understand. So the day after I pin estrogen, the gyno is gone. The day I'm supposed to pin estrogen, the gyno is back. And it just goes like that, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't know if maybe once I get a few weeks of caber in my system, I may have to increase the dose. It could be something to do with the 19 Nor drugs, even though my prolactin's not high. I made videos showing in the past that I had full-blown visible gyno. I had dialed in E2. I started dosing cabergoline, and the gyno went away. I cannot explain for it. I cannot account for it, and I'm done worrying about it. I'm done refusing to take meds just because my blood work says that I shouldn't need them. So based on the blood work, my prolactin is low. I should not have prolactin-induced, or I guess I should say do not have prolactin-induced gyno. But whatever kind of gyno I do have, caber solves it. And so I'm just done. I'm done debating it. I'm done worrying about it. I'm done trying to figure it out. So that's where we stand with the cycle. I'm going to continue this. There is no reason to stop. Everything that I want, I'm getting from no testosterone and all of the compounds that I want. And honestly, this is the best I have felt psychologically in a long time. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just because the E is so stable, because my estrogen is only fluctuating like 2 picograms per milliliter throughout the course of the week. I'm having to take absolutely no Arimidex. I'm free to take as much Masteron as I want. If I want to add in Primo, if I want to add in Anavar, Anadrol, which may be coming when I start bulking again, that will be the next real test of this. How can I grow, you know, on these particular compounds? I'm staying very dry, lean, and peeled. I have never been this vascular, I think, in my life. So I'm also taking 3 IUs of GH per day, and I take 500 IUs of HCG 3 times a week. So there you have it as far as the cycle goes. I don't know whether or not to make an entire video about this. Honestly, what I would recommend, if you want to know my views currently on the election, besides the fact that I'm wearing the Trump 2024 hat, go follow me on TikTok. TrenBalone on TikTok. You will get a lot more kind of little quick hot take videos on TikTok than you're going to be getting on YouTube, at least for the time being, because I'm trying to grow that platform. They may show up in shorts, but the thing is, like, I can shoot a 10-minute TikTok video, which usually ends up being 4 or 5 minutes, and I can't do that with shorts on YouTube. So follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. For those of you who keep asking, I don't connect my Instagram to my YouTube channel. Oh my God. These people's I'm on the walkway right here, and these paranoid fucking people's ring cam says, "Hi, you are being recorded." You're being recorded too. This is a public walkway, you fucking paranoid freaks. So tell me I'm being recorded on the sidewalk. What was I saying? Follow me on Instagram. The reason that I don't link my Instagram is because I don't want my name. If you search my name, it used to bring up my YouTube channel, and for professional purposes, that's not ideal. So follow me on Instagram, Michael Van Dusen on Instagram, TrenBalone on TikTok. Subscribe, share, do all the things on here that you know to do, and I'll keep making content. I think I'm past the hump at work where I don't really have to worry about anything. My performance level's through the roof at work. I'm killing it at work right now. So I don't think really I have anything to worry about, because I'm not actually violating any of the company rules making these videos, as long as I don't mention them or wear any of their products or anything like that. So I think we're in the clear for work, but I don't know. So if you want to hear my latest breaking opinions on the election, definitely go check me out on TikTok. I'm running out of breath. See, the trend is not good for the cardio, guys. It really is not. My pulse is like 85, 80, 85. Blood oxygen is good. It's just the trend, man. I can't walk and talk. This video is 23 minutes long. I'm running out of gas. So there you have it. I want to make a quick update video to let you guys know what's going on. I haven't been making videos because my wife and I were fighting, and I didn't want that marital shit to pour over onto YouTube again. I made a commitment to her to stop attacking her on social media after our last little blow up, because that one got ugly. And so I've been trying to keep it toned down, be respectful of her, because she really doesn't have a lot to put up with me, and vice versa. It goes both ways. So there you have it. I think I will end this video here. Follow me on all the places, and there will be more content to come. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.